What happens when you bring together a master chef, a police captain, and a group of inner-city youth and lock them in a commercial restaurant kitchen? Will they be able to get along? Can they complete a 5-course meal before the doors open to their hungry families and friends? Will the food be any good? This is the challenge that awaits these unlikely team members on an exciting adventure for culinary justice. With Chef Calvin Metz leading the charge, this group of teens and officers will attempt to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the local community. It's a high-stakes battle against the clock, with scorching heat, unexpected surprises, and lots of spice. In the end, teamwork and determination will decide if the gourmet meal makes it out of the kitchen by the time the dining room doors open.
Everyone, Captain Rob, University of Notre Dame Police Department. I'm excited because we're here for our Cooking with Cops program, which partners professional law enforcement, culinary chefs, also underrepresented youth in our area. And we are here at Foley's in O'Neill Hall for our next program of Cooking with Cops. Let's get cooking.
So Cooking with Cops is a 2-day event. We take 2 Saturdays in a row, and we bring the kids in and we do a 3-course meal from scratch that the kids and the police officers make together. But before we get started, we start with the talk about why we're here in the first place, why Cooking with Cops, why this program matters, why it matters for them to be there, and why we're honored to have them be a guest in our house. This is why I wanted to develop this program. I had Captain Rob in a class, 5 years ago? 5 years ago. And I told him about this this vision that I had of recreating a program that was started in Chicago. Chef Ken and I are from Michael Jordan Steakhouse originally, before we came to Notre Dame. We opened Michael Jordan Steakhouse. We ran a lot of stuff there. And those chefs over there invited me to do a program called Cooking with Cops. Chef Latrice started a program in Chicago just to kind of build the relationship between the police officers and the communities that they serve. A lot of times we have negative interactions with police officers, as I did myself, as I said, And coming from a neighborhood that was littered with gangs and drugs, it was very easy for us to get sucked into some of those things, and being in the neighborhood doesn't mean that you were always involved in all those things. And so I just want to make sure that we have opportunity to really kind of put that paradigm to rest and kind of build a new path going forward. And so after that, I go through knife safety. I want them to make sure that they are being safe throughout the whole process of Cooking with Cops. So knives are pretty sharp. It's the best way not to cut yourself is to hold a knife like this to your hand. Everyone see? You're rolling your knuckles back and you put in the knife. So the kids always forget, and the officers as well, is that we're cooking in a professional kitchen. And so they're not used to wearing the big chef hats or aprons or gloves, and I make them wear all of that stuff. On the first day of the first week, we bring the kids in and with the police officers and the culinarians, and we get together in the kitchen, and we just figure out how we're gonna work together as a team, how we're gonna make this 3-course meal that we're gonna eat ourselves that day.
You need this?
Yeah, why?
So
As if it comes in a...
I got soy sauce and honey.
One cup of soy sauce.
To start off today, we made a yuzu bar. I never heard of a yuzu. It's like a Japanese citrus fruit.
It is a twist on a lemon bar. Instead of lemon, we're using the Asian citrus called a yuzu.
And also when you do that,
So they're learning how to make a crust
and I like to pat it. You can mesh down on it. But
with graham crackers and sesame seeds, butter, sugar, and then they have to par bake them. And then they're learning how to temper hot yuzu puree into eggs without curdling it.
This part is not stable.
So I just want to spread it out thinly, evenly, right? Yeah. So you tell me the stuff looks good.
And then once they have their curd all cooked and thick, and they pour it over the top, and they just let it sit and cool.
Let's see if we have enough ingredients to do another one. Why are you shooting this, man? This is the bloopers. This is the blooper reel.
Now you would think, being with Chef Calvin in your group, which I had, our meals and desserts would have been perfect. But unfortunately, we missed a step in an ingredient that made our yuzu dessert bars atrocious. They were horrible.
So on the yuzu bars, we kind of got ahead of ourselves a little bit. We forgot the gelatin and the sugar. So it wasn't thickening and it wasn't setting, and we tasted it and it's like, yeah, that's not the recipe at all. We didn't use it. We ended up scrapping it. And there was enough from the other teams for everybody to be able to enjoy the yuzu bars. So it worked out in the end.
Is it okay if they decorate this now then? Okay. Go at it. Do whatever you want.
This is all I wanted to do my whole life.
A lot of them have never tried a yuzu before, and they're very shocked about how tart it was.
It was sour. Yeah, it was super sour.
It's like sweet with a little tang to it.
With a little tang to it.
Yeah, with a little tang to it. Yep.
And a lot of them have never had sesame seeds other than like a savory dish. So it brings a little bit of savory in with the sweet too. And so they were very surprised by that.
I don't know, I like the crust and the way that the sesame seed just like kind of takes over the crust, and then this tartness and the sweet of the whipped cream. I really liked it all. I think it was good.
So the first week, we did Asian themed menu. We did a marinated pork belly, which was excellent.
The pork belly is the fatty stomach portion of the pig, where we get our bacon from. And so they're portioning it out, and they're learning how to cross-hatch. So you score it, and that helps the pork belly soak in all the flavors from the marinade they created with a lot of South Asian flavors. And then they're going to let it marinate for an hour and get happy. And then we're teaching them that when you put it in the oven, you start out with it just out, and so the skin gets nice and crispy. And then they're going to cover them up so it completely finish cooking, and that'll help them learn about how long you have to cook certain meats and what temperatures you have. And after it's done cooked and it sits for a while, they're going to slice it up and just eat it.
So the yuzu bars were a flop, and we discarded that. And then we did redeem ourselves with the banh mi, the pork belly sandwich. Cooked it to perfect temperature so it was moist and succulent and flavorful. And then we assembled the sandwich with sliced jalapenos, Asian coleslaw, getting all of the ingredients in and assembling it and flipping over the top, and then picking it and slicing it into single serving sandwiches. And it was super delicious. Everybody attested to it. So when it comes to cooking with cops and working with the youth in the program, it is very rewarding on a number of levels. You get to be a bridge with food between law enforcement and the youth, and try and have a positive impact on them. One of the things working with them is we immerse them in the whole process of the whole meal. They don't just stand around, they have to help cut and try to use a knife. One thing that is a challenge that I have picked up on doing it a couple of years now is that they want instant results. In this day and age, everybody wants instant results, but especially youth. They want it now. And so you try to you instill in them a little bit of patience in dealing with food, because anything that is worth having is worth waiting for.
So this week, it's in the books. So we made vegetable spring rolls to start. Next course up was pork belly banh mi. We also had a skirt steak fried sushi rice, and then we had the yuzu bars. If you can remember, my team had a little bit of problems with. Next week is a whole different challenge. We have 100 community members coming in, a 4-course meal that the students are going to prepare, and it's a different meal than the one they prepared today. The question is, who would be able to make it happen? Will the food be any good? Click here to find out.